Obadiah chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? Who is Esau? Edom, the self proclaimed white man who has been exposed for being red. Okay, there is no such color as white on flesh. There's no such color as black on flesh. Okay, we're all different shades of brown, all the way to Edom, that is lack of melanin. That doesn't mean he's white. It just means his red, his blood shows forth through his skin. Okay, all right, but the nations are all melanin, and there is no black melanin. There is no white melanin. Okay, so this man has been lying since the beginning. Okay, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And I'm gonna tell you straight up, it started when Yahweh Bashem Shah brought forth the prophecy of Ezekiel, of the dry bones coming, blowing the Rakakwadash, which the world refers to as the Holy Spirit, back into our people, the so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, specifically starting with the election, okay, with bringing back the wisdom and understanding of who we are. All right, and setting up the teachers, the prophets again, who had not prophesied because we was asleep. Okay, and then he brought the prophets back to life. All right, starting at Aqua Bibbins. All right, bringing forth the truth and exposing these wicked men. All right, on to today, where we chant down spiritual Babylon. We chant down all of Edom. Okay, starting at who? The apostles of Great Millstone, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rakah, Apostle Orumla, the mighty elders from all the states, okay, including over nations, okay, and then you Akim, who teach in sincerity, all right, and the like-minded men, and I pray I'm amongst them, okay. He's used us to expose this man once again through prophesying, through chanting them down, through praying them, praying that Yahweh Bashem Shah come quickly to put work in them. Okay, how is his hidden things sought up? All right, verse 7. All the men of confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Okay, so all of Edom's allies, okay, and this is really going into spiritual Babylon and his allies, okay. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, that share with them, okay, that eat thy bread, that share wealth with them, have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Now let's get this. Comparisons. We're going to get the N.A.T O. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. Okay? So once again, Obadiah 1 and 7, N.A.T O. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and to destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps, okay? And that's what's going on right now, starting over here with spiritual Babylon, okay? N.A.T.O is in all kind of confusion and chaos, along with all of Edom, okay? All your allies, okay, NIV, Salakia, once again, Obadiah 1 and 7, all your allies will force you to the border. Your friends will deceive and overpower you. Those who eat your bread will set a trap for you, but you will not detect it, Okay, so unawares, just like the scriptures say, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will come like a thief in the night. That time when all of the benefits that Edom has had privilege to on this earth will come to a crashing to a stop, just like that. Okay, then will you really witness World War III? We're in it now, though. This is the NET. Okay, all your allies will force you from your homeland, and they're doing it right now. They're drawing out United States of America throughout the whole world. I mean, with all the conflicts we have, we're being thinned out. And remember, Yahweh Basim Al Shah said he will send fanners to this place to destroy it with no means of protection because you're going to be shorthanded. Just put it like that. Your treaty partners will deceive you and overpower you. Your trusted friends will set a ambush for you that will take you by surprise. And you know, the funny part is the behavior, the arrogance and the behavior that's going on in spiritual Babylon right now, which is currently led by Nero, okay, DJ Trump, the orange assassin, you know, it should be no surprise. You know, the proudness and the boasting is all biblical. It comes right back to it, okay? All right. So this is verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, even destroy the wise man out of Edom? Okay, once again, which is Esau's offspring, his descendants. Okay, and the understanding out the mount of Esau. Now, what does the mount mean? The government. Now, once again, this is worldwide. Edom, this is his kingdom. All of the world as it stands right now. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked, but we know that was only for a eon, which is goes into a period of time. Okay. Call Haloyim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders that prophesied and rule well for the hopeful 144 and the 1/3 of Yasharallah, who this world refers to as Israel, starting at the house of great millstone. Shalom to you, Akim, who teach and learn in sincerity. Shalom to the Akwith, who learn in sincerity. This Salakia, this is Canaan, and the title will be No More N.A.T.O, okay? That whore that you see right there living lavishly is United States of America. And that beast that she's sitting on is the EU/NATO, okay? This is the book of, let me get it before I go here. This is the representation. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, founded, okay, in 1949. So it's been over 76 years. And I remember going back to the anniversary where even the news said 70 years of robbing and pillaging and stealing. And then that was a true statement, okay? It was on one of those national channels, you know, world news, not over here in spiritual Babylon, okay? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada. And see, that's funny. United States, Canada, all right, and several Western European nations, once again, the EU, to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. Okay? And ain't that a coincidence? Nothing is. I just have to use that at this very time, United States has ditched the NATO to go try to plead and kiss the butt of Putin, okay, and see if they can speak peace unto Putin. But Putin's not hearing it. The bear is not hearing it because he's set up to do what? Help destroy this place. All right. So, but listen to this one more time. United States and Canada. Canada is one of the main enemies. Why? Because of DJ Trump has ran his mouth in pride. Oh, we're going to turn Canada into the 51st state. Okay, who talks like that to a nation? Okay, it's supposed to be an ally. All right. So we've been seeing the implosion, which means exploding from within of NATO. While you also see the rise of what the BRICS, the adversary led by Russia, which is still Edom, but they have the other nations who have been picked on and bullied from this NATO alliance for over 70 years now, coming together to form a strong defense against NATO, while NATO is being weakened from within, from their own selves. Okay, so this is not going to end well for these people. This is the book of Isaiah 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt. This is spiritual Egypt, okay? Spiritual Babylon. Behold, Yahweh Bashmel Shah rideth upon a swift cloud, which is the chariots, okay? And you need to do your research. They're not UFOs. They're written out through the scriptures. If they're through the Apocrypha, Old Testament, New Testament, you name it. It explains what these vehicles are. They're the vehicles of Yahweh Bashmel Shah, led by Yahweh Shai and those angels, okay? Not no fucking green, red, you name it, blue avatars, none of that shit, okay? We can identify who they are. And the idols, okay, of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart, the minds of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. And once again, this Egypt is spiritual Egypt, all right? Because the true Egyptians, Hamites, are not a threat today. That's what you would know as Africans, okay? And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and we're going to give you an example of that. Once again, these are spiritual Egyptians, Edomites, all right? Because remember, Yahweh Bashmel Shah used Egypt on the first scene to build up his fame. This time he's using the spiritual Egyptians, which are the Edomites, to even further his fame forever. Okay? And they shall fight every one against his brother. And you're gonna see Adoram Ratazai, you're gonna see this in this video. And every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right? This is gonna be a quick hit. Adoram Ratazai, this be edifying. Okay, so you see, that's the beginning of the treaty, and we're at the end. Fair use 107, fair use copyright. This is for educational purposes. I'm not selling any product, okay? And I pray that this be edifying.
So Trump is doing his own thing, which has left Europe confused and worried. Their leaders are scrambling for solutions, and they're huddling in Paris today. It's been called an emergency informal meeting. The agenda? To discuss Ukraine's future, to chart a European strategy for the war, probably 3 years too late. Nonetheless, they're doing it. Heads of state from across Europe are attending, so is UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Before leaving for Paris, he made a major announcement. Starmer said he's willing to send British soldiers to Ukraine, not to fight Russia, but to enforce the peace. Like I said, any deal will require security guarantees, and that responsibility will fall on Europe. Keir Starmer says he's up to it. He's also looking to play the role of a mediator. Between whom? Europe and the United States. Starmer is slated to visit the White House later this month. He's hoping to give Europe's message to Trump. Well, it sounds good on paper, but Starmer's own ties with Trump are weak. He has clashed repeatedly with Trump's allies like Elon Musk, so it's not clear how he will mediate. For now, let's focus on the Paris meeting. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is attending, so is Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, NATO Chief Mark Rutte, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, and EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen. So all the big European powers are attending. The question is, can they arrive at a common strategy? In the past, such efforts have failed, but this one is a bit different because it's happening after a tumultuous week. First, Donald Trump spoke to Russian President Putin, Europe was completely blindsided by this. And then US Vice President J.D. Vance attacked Europe, in Europe. This happened at the Munich Security Conference. Vance simply unloaded on Europe. He said their biggest threat was not China or Russia, but the retreat of free speech.
The threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within, the retreat of Europe from some of its most fundamental values, values shared with the United States of America. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Well, Europe is not used to this sort of attack, especially not from its most important.
I gotta stop it. Now that is the definition of the kettle calling the pot black. Coming from the United States of America, they fear that free speech is under attack. Well, say something over here about anything dealing with the ish people and see who gets attacked. Okay? Not even our nation, the ish people, all right, who are set up over them, the little hatters, okay, who are the biggest welfare queens off of the United States of America's tax dollar. Say something wrong about that. Say something wrong about those people not being the true people, and then see where freedom of speech goes. Okay, say something about this injustice medical system that set up means to destroy the people through that poison, through that snake oil, okay, and see where your freedom of speech goes, all right?
Important ally. It seems to have set off alarm bells in Brussels. Hence the need for today's summit. Their first So Trump is doing his own thing, which has left Europe confused and worried. Their leaders are scrambling for solutions. And they're huddling in Paris today. It's been called an emergency informal meeting. The agenda? To discuss Ukraine's future, to chart a European strategy for the war, probably 3 years too late. Nonetheless, they're doing it. Heads of state from across Europe are attending, so is UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Before leaving for Paris, he made a major announcement. Starmer said he is willing to send British soldiers to Ukraine, not to fight Russia, but to enforce the peace.
Okay.
Like I said,
Now, that was not an accident that I replayed that. Let's get it. This is the book of Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 1. The day of the Lord, okay? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. If your eyes are open, if your ears are open, you're seeing all of this come at you. You're not going to be blindsided. You're not just going to be out clubbing, thugging, and loving and doing all the things that you pleasantly do. You should be in fear of this time. Not in fear of them, but in fear, are you right with Yahweh Shai Shai? For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh Shai cometh as a thief in the night. But remember, those wise virgins had the oil. The unwise virgins didn't have the oil to trim their lamp, okay? So, once again, he's giving us eyes to see, and we're the spokesman. So, definitely we have to be able to see this to give you warning, okay? Verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, who? The rulers. The wicked rulers, okay? When they should say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, okay? Those birth pains, all right? And what's those birth pains going into? The return of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua with the host of angels. And they shall not escape the wicked, none of them, okay? Even the elites, they got their bunkers and whatever. That's just set up because they're the first to go into captivity. All right? But believe me, overall, the wicked will not escape, and definitely the wicked of our nation, okay?
Free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Europe is not used to this sort of attack, especially not from its most important ally. It seems to have set off alarm bells in Brussels. Hence the need for today's summit. Their first priority will be to decide on a plan for Ukraine. Do they boost military spending? Do they commit troops to, like Britain? Do they condemn talks behind their backs, or do they stick to diplomatic niceties? What should Europe do? That's what we need to watch out for. Officially, the position in Brussels is quite clear. A weaker Ukraine is bad news for Europe.
A failed Ukraine would weaken Europe, but it would also weaken the United States.
Okay.
Europe, free speech.
So with that, once again, this whore has caused a lot of problems for the so-called alliance, okay? And we've already read where the men that was confederate with thee have brought thee to the border, all right? Now let's finish this. This was meant to be a quick hit. This is the book of Revelations, 17, verse 4. Okay? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup. And those precious stones and pearls literally have been stolen throughout the land, especially from our people, you so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, Yasharala, okay? Having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And that's definitely point blank spiritual Babylon, the melting pot, the gumbo, okay? Do as thy will, all right? The land of free to do as thy will, all right? And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon, not ancient Babylon, mystery. Virgin, daughter, okay? Does that sound familiar? Spiritual, Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, abomination of the earth, and abominations of the earth. Now, what happens to harlots? They get dealt with. Read the scriptures. All harlots, you suffer not a harlot to live, burn her to the stake. So what is Yahweh Bashmi Abishai going to do? He's going to keep his word. I'm a Hebrew hopscotch down to Revelation 17:16, okay? And I pray that this has been edifying. And the 10 horns which thou sawest, and I read this to you already, the establishment of N.A.T.O through the EU, United States of America, okay? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, those shall hate the whore. So we established the whore as spiritual Babylon, United States of America, led right now by Nero, who did what? In Rome, he was the last emperor who was responsible for Rome's burning, okay? All right, the destruction. And once again, he's back in this lie. So I'm going to read that again. Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which represents the EU/NATO. These shall hate the whore, United States of America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's that ICBM talk, intercontinental ballistic missiles. And you got to know we're here, because why is DJ Trump talking about setting up the Iron Dome that Israel has to protect United States of America from what? Those incoming ICBM missiles, which is not going to help, because Yahweh Bashmi Abishai has plainly said none of them will mix their mark. When they begin to go, they're going to hit every target. Okay? Now, let's get this in the NLT. All right? And once again, I pray that this was edifying to the body. Just a little quick hit before I lay it down. The water Yahweh Bashmi Abishai. The NLT, Revelations 17:16. The scarlet beast, and the 10 horns will hate the prostitute, and we're here today. That's what those meetings are for. Trump calling behind the back meetings and disregarding them, talking very strong okay, boasting and bragging, that pride, they will strip her naked, okay, and eat her flesh and burn her remains with fire. Now I want to bring this back up one more time. Salakia. Let's get this. Right here. The NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was created in 1994 by the United States, and then you have Canada. And I've been saying this going on 3 years before even the poking of Canada. I believe they will send them over here, just like Russia sent them those ICBMs to Ukraine without the nuke heads. Okay, just to make a statement, a loud statement that you cannot stop these from landing. I believe that Canada may start off, the gloves is off. The way that Nero's been disrespectful towards them. Okay, and then everybody else is going to line up because the once again the stage is set. We're here. Okay, so the ultimate ending is this. You can't get around it. It's prophesized. And we're happy. We just hope that we're on those chariots witnessing it from a bird's eye view, praising Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and not actually part of the 2/3 that will be devoured by this flame, okay? Because it's coming. And with that, this has been No More N.A.T.O. Shalom.